Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Taking a quick look here again at Solana, seeing what's going on. Wow, struggle bus is real, folks. Bitcoin pulled a fast one on us yesterday here with that neutral news from the Fed. Actually quite positive in a lot of ways, and just took a nosedive instantly after. So right now we're seeing Bitcoin stabilize at 67,000, seeing if it can hold. If it does hold, I think we're fine here to see our ABC pattern here finish. But if not, then obviously a different story altogether. So just keep in mind, bottom could drop out here at any time because Solana is following Bitcoin almost 2x to the downside here today. So just bear that in mind. Now, having said that, let's go ahead and look at some constellation potential, realities here, back end data, kind of see where we're at, and kind of go from there. So thanks again so much for watching. Hope you can like the video and comment below if you get a chance. I absolutely appreciate the support here from everybody. So take a look here at Solana, last 7 days of liquidation. Very little liquidation on the downside. In fact, there's no incentive to push the price action down any further, but it still continues to happen. Again, a lot of this is greed and is based on yesterday. Again, that fair value got filled from Bitcoin at about 68,000. Now that it's filled, it's trying to bottom out at 67 and bounce, but that doesn't happen. We want to recognize that we could see further downside for Solana. But from a liquidation standpoint, there is liquidation on the upside at 164. We talked about that yesterday. And generally speaking, we look at the monthly. Let's even go out to as far as 3 months. We see very little liquidation. We might see 140. So 140 even is that lowest level liquidation from that's almost a month and a half, 2 months ago. Okay, so really not a whole heck of a lot here left to the downside. So that does imply that there's less incentive to push the price action down. What we want to look at in the larger timeframes here is volume profile. We'll start with that and kind of recognize based on support, just to give you perspective, tons of volume at $90, $98. I'm not proposing we're going to see double digits again, but there is a very, very large amount of volume down there. Now, if we kind of travel into the more recent range of just say 120 or higher, we can see the largest amount of volume is right there at 146. That's right where the price action's at. That should provide us with some support. In fact, the last 3 days we've seen the volume, and this is very parallel to Bitcoin in a lot of ways too. Bitcoin has tons of volume, the same amount of volume in the last 2 or 3 months worth of range. Letting us know that 67,000 is that support level. That's where Bitcoin is right now. Solana is also entering its support zone based on volume. The point of control for the last 2 months is a rough estimate, $146 to $147. Yeah, I'm rounding up a little bit, but 146 to 147 is that area. Okay? So solid chance we see a bounce here. If we don't, then we might have a different conversation altogether. Okay, but for now, let's go ahead and presume that could happen. And at this point, kind of look at some moving averages. We're below all 3 moving averages, the faster moving ones, and of course, the slowest guide here, the 200, lagging behind about 130. Okay, so again, simply put, we've got some support below us based on that, but keep in mind, moving averages are not support levels. They're just kind of letting us know the overall trend. So with us being below these shorter term trend lines, that implies that the price action is going to face some resistance if it comes back up to the support range. Again, previous support range at 157 to 168. So hypothetically, those are going to be some difficult areas to break into based on those moving averages being above. All right. Now that can totally change here in the next few days, but generally speaking, that's a bearish sign. We're under 50 on the RSI now. Officially, we were trending towards it yesterday. That has since changed. We can also see money flow index is roughly the same and stochastic swinging sideways. Really not sure what to do there. And then we got MACD still diverging. So this is a pretty large divergence, all things considered. So there is potential we could see continued momentum to the downside. Either way you look at it, the daily time frame looks mostly bearish, not fully, but mostly. Okay? That's not a good sign. Take a look at the 4-hour time frame. We can see same thing as well here. We're running concurrent with this descending trend line. We had a significant false positive there. While it's not a bearish engulfing candle, Bitcoin was bearishly engulfed for that previous 4-hour period. So Solana held in there fairly well, but now it's just kind of belly flopping. It's jumping off a cliff here. We actually joked about this earlier here, and the fact that Bitcoin is literally just flopping here, and altcoins with it. So keep that in mind. Bitcoin dominance is increasing, and the price of Bitcoin coming down, that's generally unfavorable. While it doesn't last too long, it's still a very real thing. MACD is diverging now officially here. We're under 50 on the RSI. Stochastic swinging down. There's literally nothing here that's positive on the 4-hour time frame for Solana. So having said that, if you did take my Solana long from yesterday, while my risk tolerance is different than yours, and I have no problem holding on to this trade for longer, if you are concerned about it, just go ahead and cut your losses. It's okay to cut a trade early. At this point here, we're not that far out. We're averaged in at, I think, 150 as a close approximate. But either way you look at it here, absolutely did not get that bounce off the Ichimoku cloud, which was supposed to have happened here, right? So again, typically this good confirming factor should have given us support at about 154, 155. But instead, since then, we've seen a complete shift in momentum. We got tremendous momentum to the downside. Stochastic, sorry, not stochastic, but the conversion lines below the baseline, lagging spans free and clear, one to the cloud. These are all green lights to consider a short position. Now, I would want to urge caution in doing so, because at this point, we're fairly well overextended, even though we are only at about a 5 right now. We're about 20 hours of continuation on the downside. We had a small, very brief period of consolidation. So in truth, we've been progressing down ever since this time yesterday. So the price action has been pulling back pretty hard. So me personally, seeing that, there's a strong likelihood we're going to see a relief rally at the very least. So try not to get too heavy with the shorts just yet. I feel like we're nearing the bottom of this phase, and there's a strong chance we're going to see Bitcoin and other coins kind of stabilize for a little while, and then we'll see this weekend what happens. We may even see a repeat tomorrow of what we saw last Friday, where that just complete knee-jerk reaction from altcoins when Bitcoin pulls back. Okay? Again, it's not a guarantee, but there's a lot of things factoring in here. So again, just try to educate you more on these things. And while we're on the subject too, trading is never perfect. Neither am I. So if you did, you're frustrated by the way that things have been working out lately, that's all part of the system. That's how these market movers want you to get shaken out. They consistently do this day in and day out. They get you this extreme pain zone, and then they instantly flip it around by the time you decide you want to switch it up. It's a psychological game. So if you are at all frustrated, maybe just get up and take a walk. Maybe you need to watch my Trading University videos again, or find a way to get back on track. Because again, a lot of my community members, they'll forego trying to learn to become better traders and just try to piggyback. And while I understand that's okay, and while well and good, it's good merit, you got to take ownership of your own trades, and you got to be able to make these work the way that you want them to, because everyone's risk tolerance is different. So I talked about that with one of my community members earlier, who was kind of complaining, and it's totally normal to do that. I get it, but at the end of the day, this is your responsibility. Okay, so make sure you take ownership and learn from what you can, and take notes. Become a study. Become a child of study. Educate yourself in this, and that's ultimately what I want from these videos too. So I'm hoping that you can find benefit, and you have. And I deeply appreciate all the wonderful feedback I've been receiving too. Again, this is an imperfect market, and trading is absolutely imperfect. There's no other way around it. But at the end of the day, you got to live with yourself, right? So I hope that you can just keep calm and relax. If you want a really good exchange at your back, though, I do recommend taking advantage of this offer before the end of the month. Use my link to register, or if you've already done so, go ahead and check that out. We do also have a Twitter, Telegram, Discord, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts now, so some kind of fun stuff there. Check it out. It's all there at your disposal to help kind of keep you, up to date and abreast. So I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thank you again so much for your time. We'll see you in the next one. Take good care.